Hi, imagine this scenario with me. You and two of your good friends, Bob and Dan, go to the local coffee shop. Bob decides to get a Danish. Dan gets a coffee. I'll go with a bagel. As we're sitting there enjoying our meal, I looked to my right and I looked to my left, and I realized that both these guys are overweight. Well, surprisingly, that follows the national statistics that 2/3 of Americans are either obese or overweight. Along with this comes the risk of diabetes, coronary heart disease, and it even increases your chance of stroke, cancer, and breathing problems, among other things. I have 3 objectives today in my speech. First of all, together we're going to determine our ideal body weight. Second of all, I'm going to tell you a little bit why being obese or overweight is bad. And third of all, I'm going to try to persuade you to fix it to live a healthier life. First of all, there's multiple methods to determine your weight and ideal weight within your age and height. First are index tables, and these can easily be found online and even in some health and PE books. You can also be weighed underwater, where they compare the amount of fat to the amount of muscle, and then they can give you your body mass index. And third, there's a bioelectrical impulse, where you actually hold 2 electrodes and they send a very slight electrical pulse through your body, and it measures your resistance, and that can give a very accurate idea of how much body fat you have. Now, the ideal percentages in men and women vary. Men, ideally, are between 10 and 20% body fat. Women get a little extra cushion, and they get from 20 to 30%. So once we've achieved our goal of finding our ideal body weight, let's look at how many calories we should be taking in on a daily basis to maintain our body weight. The ISSA gives us a formula of 1 times your body weight in kilograms, which is pounds divided by 2.2, times 24, and that's how many calories you need to consume on a daily basis. Now, women get to multiply that 0.9 times body weight in kilograms times 24. So I'm going to use myself as an example. I came up with 2,290 calories a day, and then that is just to maintain your body weight. Now, I put in an activity code of multiplier 1.55 because I'm fairly active. That's right there in the middle. So taking the 2,290 calories times 1.55 leaves me with 2,790 calories per day to maintain my body weight. Okay, now we're going to talk about some of the detrimental effects of being obese or overweight. Did you know that morbidly obese people are 12 times more likely to die premature than a healthy adult? Or that hypertension is twice as prevalent in people that are classified as overweight or obese? Diabetes risk also goes up substantially, and type 2 diabetes especially. There's been several studies of cancer, stroke, and breathing risks all being increased due to a person's weight being over the ideal max. And here's another startling statistic I found. It's estimated that in the year 2010, $117 billion will be spent in our healthcare system treating people that have diseases caused by their overweight. The healthierus.gov website recommends 30 to 60 minutes per day, 5 days a week, of vigorous exercise. Some examples of vigorous exercise would be weightlifting. So I have some of my wife's weights here. Walking, which is known to burn 250 calories per hour for a person at 155-pound body weight. And then one of my favorite things to do, bicycling. This is my bicycle here. And it is, depending on your intensity, about 422 calories per hour riding a bicycle. And then also running, which I enjoy doing, which is even better, at around 700 calories per hour. And that's all assuming a body weight of 155 pounds. So, this calories, fat, let's talk about some numbers here. 1 pound of fat is equivalent to 3,500 calories. So we could assume, divide that by 7 days, if we took our number of calories that we need to eat on a daily basis and subtracted 500, over the course of a week, we would lose approximately 1 pound of fat. So, doing my numbers, that would take my 2,790 down to 2,290. Okay. So we've talked about finding our ideal body weight, why it's bad if we are classified as overweight or obese, and we've talked about some ways that we can address our issues between exercise and a healthy diet. Now, how can we lose weight? Because everybody knows people that have tried and failed, and it's a really hard thing to do, obviously, with the 2/3 overweight in America. So the first recommendation is to set goals. And say you gained 40 pounds over the last 10 years, you can expect to lose 40 pounds in the next 2 months. So you need to set realistic goals, and even smaller goals, like maybe get down to the next pant size or shrink a dress size. Another good way to motivate yourself to lose weight is to join campaigns or contests at work where they will have teams and you can compete, and whoever loses the most weight maybe gets a vacation day off. But we need to remember to take small steps because drastic changes in body weight are actually unhealthy. It's recommended to lose 1 pound, no more than 2 pounds per week. We also need to make sure that we get a doctor's approval before we begin any exercise routine, because some people are not healthy enough to exercise. And we're going to try to work up to this goal of 2.5 hours a week of vigorous exercise, which we can do 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, and we get 2 days off. And summing it up, Americans have just overindulged, and we've really created a healthcare catastrophe that's costing everyone a lot of money, and causing a lot of diseases, and causing people to lose their lives before they should. So I encourage everyone, if they do find that they're overweight or obese, to get on a goal today to start losing weight and exercising. And I want to end with a quote by John Kenneth Galbraith. He said, "More die in the United States of too much food than of too little." Thank you. I'm going to read my works cited. I've got information from the Journal of American Medical Association, Medical Surgical Nursing, Critical Thinking and Client Care, calories.net, which is their website, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and U.S. Department of Agriculture, and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services press release. Health and Human Services Secretary and Surgeon General joined First Lady to announce plans to combat weight and obesity and support healthy choices. Thank you.